So yeah, we're gonna continue right here where we left off. I remember last time we were working on the foundation pieces of the leg, the placement of these muscle. I've placed myself a few like reminders here and there. It's still blocky. We were at the stage of doing the fascia parts and then the cloth that's gonna go on top. So let's get let's get going. I'm new to the stream, but I've been following your work for some time. That's cool. Awesome. All right, let's get rid of the head and the torso for the moment. We're not going to need that. It's going to make everything run more smoothly if we do. So yeah, cloth, fascia, the strap. Yep, it's really what's left, eh? I think at some point I'm also going to divide into two folders. What's the thigh and the tibia and feet. Just to make it for a more smooth experience once again. Okay. All right. So I think I'll simply start by masking the parts I'm going to be working on. I'm going to use the mask to also make it disappear from the blocking at the same time. So two purposes for the masks. It's great that you also show the process of your work. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Hey, it's my pleasure. I like the idea that some people can be working at the same time as me as well, so it's a little shared experience. Is there gonna be fascia at the bottom part? Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna... no. Let's really just divide them into different parts. Okay, so now that this is masked, I'm gonna duplicate on this part. I'm going to grab these. Do I have layers? No. Okay. I'll delete everything. Delete morph target. And on this one here, I'll simply push that so that it's not going to be in the way of my new meshes. Good. All right. So for these, they're gonna be like simple cloth parts. We're just gonna put them in double first of all, then selection. Just gonna remove a bit of what's going to be unnecessary. I could have kept the blocking for a little bit longer to see what those fascia part looked like. Maybe like when I'm gonna Z remesh it, I'm gonna lose a bit of the shape and everything. But I always keep a decimation, not a decimation, a morph target of my blocking before I started pushing things in. That's what I was turning on and off. Okay, and now that's done, I'm just going to pull a little bit of the borders. Now I'm going to mask them. I'm just going to keep... because I just want to push the cloth a little bit inwards inside the, well, under the armor, right? So let's do that. So now I just masked the stuff. I can take my move brush now. Just move it in a little bit like that. Okay, now that I have these pieces, I just want to clean the borders a little bit because they're a bit jagged. I'm going to subdivide just to make sure it doesn't smooth out too much. And then just polish a little bit just to remove a bit of the jagginess. Now, there's still some areas that might be a bit weird for the Z remesher, but let's give it a shot with this material here. Also, I just want to know what matte cap this is. Okay. It's the normal matte cap. Let's go with the remesh. Let's give it a shot. Not much, like 1,500. Okay, it didn't give me any bugs, but it's not the cleanest thing. Let's just do another remesh. Some borders are still a bit not super clean. I think I'm gonna try to mask the borders now and polish them a bit. Oof, I lose a lot of the... No, I'm gonna subdivide again. Just to make the polishing less radical. Okay, now the topology is starting to get a bit smoother. Let's give it another shot. Oh, there's an error. When there's an error, sometimes it's because there's like a little floaty part. So I just auto mask, click everything. No, there was nothing hidden, so let's just do as fix mesh. There we go. And before we do that, I'm just gonna get rid of that pinch here. That's kind of like problematic a bit. There we go. Okay, well, perfect mesh. Whoop. Let's get our material back. So, slight adjustment where it kind of like stopped being the shape I wanted. Elrin, I see you're writing to me. I'll just get back to you very soon. Just wanna get this thing done. Here it's a bit uneven, so I'm gonna edge polish this to become flat again. Probably won't want to keep it flat, but it's gonna be easier to give it the shape that I want if it were starting from a flat surface. So right now I'm focusing on the like its frontal shape. Like let's call this the frontal shape of the fascia, but I'm going to check on the thickness afterwards once I added the thickness. Because right now I can't tell if it's at the appropriate like level versus the height of the synthetic muscles. And also I don't want to add the thickness now because I'm doing movements that might make the thickness uneven if I apply the thickness now. So here we can actually I'll try that again. I can already tell I'm just gonna need to create some kind of like an acknowledgement that there is a something going under. There we go. Okay, that's pretty much done. Right after I fix this. Polish a bit, polish. 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 Okay. And at this point, thickness. Okay, so I add the thickness and now I can see where like some parts are interpenetrating and some are not. So we're just going to just push in and push out where we need. Plus it kind of like acknowledges the shape of the muscles that are under. So now we can kind of like see the mass of like the muscle going in. I'll fix that little thing later. Oh, pink. You mean salmon? You mean like this color here? I would argue it's salmon. Did I do everywhere? Notice also I always change between AccuCurve and non-AccuCurve when I move. If I want to move like in a pinchy way like here, like I needed to do like a V, so I'll have AccuCurve activated. some light dam standard just to insist on the shape of the muscles. The shape of the muscle that we can see under the like fascia part. Because the fascia part are supposed to look like they're a little bit more like sticking to the synthetic muscle. Not too much, but a little bit. That should be all right. Now, do I need to fix the direction of the... There might be like a bit of unevenness on this side I want to fix with smooth directional. Smooth directional, which I remind you is not working with symmetry, so we'll need to do a mirror and weld after. Okay. Okay, we're good. And we're done for the fascia parts. Let's save and check the chat. It's great that you also show the process. Yeah, I read that. And I'm in Spain, so I apologize in advance if I can sometimes express myself. No, it's really great. It's really good. Don't worry about that. I am also an artist and instructor. Would you mind if I show and discuss your art in a video? Oh yeah. No worries. That's good. I haven't visited for a long time. Hello everyone. Hello Marco. What do you think about CAD modeling? I tried plasticity for 2 weeks. As for me, it's an awesome thing. It gives freedom in modeling hard surface meshes. I never really tried it. Yeah, like my style is so like defined by the tools that I've been using for a long time that like sometimes new tools are, although they can be fantastic, they're just like not really answering to my needs because my needs became somewhat specific, I would say. How much playing around? How much playing around with color do you do with these models? During the blocking process, I play a lot with the colors. Sometimes I revisit during the high res process, but not necessarily. And if I am to texture these in Painter, then once I'm in Painter, well, I'll use these like colors as my ID, and I'll do some more like color testing. Sometimes it's easier. And if I really don't feel the colors, I'll go in Photoshop um, before I'm done with the high res, preferably during the blocking, and I'll do a couple of like color testing, I'd say. So to give me permission to do the video. It's your work after all. Well, I mean, I'd say probably send me an email just to give me a bit more of details what you intend to do first, because I'm not 100% sure. What do you mean? Um, so the fascia parts, like this is an example of the fascia parts here. Yeah. So during the polishing, it'll get to that level. Okay, maybe I can place the straps now, and the only mesh part that's going to be left is like that huge cloth part that goes all around. I'm probably going to need to divide that cloth part in two parts because now it's just a bit complicated for nothing. Let's place the straps first. Once again, just the blocking of the straps. Yeah, Elrin, I guess it's good. Just send me like the link once it's done. I'm curious to see it. I think I'm gonna add a strap also right here. So anyways, I'll use the subtool to place the strap. Is that too thick, too thin? Maybe one increment smaller. Another increment maybe. Okay, let's go with that. So let's place the straps first and then we'll figure out. Oops. Oh, it's kind of like getting attracted to the top part. Let's just do one side and mirror and weld it. Then is that all the straps for the thigh? Oh yeah, there's also the one we wanted to add. We. The royal we. Okay. Let's give the straps the same material. This is like the new trick I discovered. If I flood the screen with the material and I say show used, it's going to give me the only material it sees on the screen. As long as I also don't have my materials showing in my UI, or else it will target these as well. So I'm going to redo the thickness of the straps here, but first I just want to place them correctly because they're not placed necessarily correctly yet. Let's just give them a first go at it. All right, let's remove the straps from the blocking. Should be enough. Okay. Let's give it another pass, check the thickness of everything before we actually make the real thickness for these. Or, you know what? No, let's make the real thickness first. So what I'm going to do is, wait, what is the chat saying? Uh, so you do your project based on imagination, or you have some reference or inspiration in another screen? Well, I have like a reference of my own work here, just to kind of like have somewhat like a similar direction, art direction, let's say. But this one I just made the blocking and yeah. I don't remember if I used references to make this one because it's kind of like the same style I'm repeating over and over again. So I've elaborated the art direction already, and now I'm just kind of like doing a rinse and repeat. But I mean, I use references all the time for most of my work. Don't get me wrong. When I use references, it's often it's to make like to try to do something new, or else I repeat the same things, which is not bad. If the goal is to make something similar of the same thing as before, I mean it's absolutely good. But sometimes I like to shake things up a bit and try something new. Just gonna adjust the curve and to give like a, there was some curve that I didn't really like the shape of him. What is the trick? What is the trick? What is the trick of creating that butt? I don't. Sorry, I don't understand the question. What is the trick? As in, how do I get the shape of the butt to look like that? All right, let's add the panel loops to that. It's taking the value from the fascia subtool because I created the straps from the fascia subtool. I might want those straps to be a little bit thicker though. Not too much. This is the kind of like asset, like if I was to print this character, I would need to go back on the thickness of the straps, kind of like take the inside of the shape and push it so like it goes a little bit more like inside of the shape, especially because like between the synthetic muscles, there's a lot of space. You finished the Bellevue project. Sorry, what is the Bellevue project? The owl. Oh yeah, that's Cedric that's working on that. It's not me. No, no need to be sorry. That's a absolute valid mistakes to do. We don't sometimes we don't write who's working on what. Yeah, it's nuts that the placement of these things is like such a long process, and then like the detailing sometimes is like even quicker, but the detailing is much more like interesting and fun. And often just like the placing of those fundamentals is like ugh. Like doing the blocking is super fun because it's really like the design part of the work, which is really great. And the then when you go and you do those foundation piece placement and whatnot, it's yeah, it's pretty. Let's just say it's not the part that inspires me the most, but it's important. All right, so we got that. We're going to use like auto group by angle just to give like each 90-degree angle a different polygroup. Well, it's set at 45 right now. There we go. We're gonna crease these. I'm just using my hotkeys for that. Mirror and weld, we get it on both sides. And I'm just going to do a little polish by crease now that everything is placed. It smooths the dents that I created in the straps a little bit. I'm good with the level at which it does it. I'm maybe not sure of the cleanliness of that strap. I'm gonna use smooth directional, which means I'm gonna have to do a mirror and weld after, right? Okay, all good. So Cedric and you are the workers of Chaos Masons. No, we are the founders. We have like about like 50 artists working for us. When it comes to the clients, the clients' gigs, but most of what has to do with like the personal work we put in the company, it's mostly me and Cedric. All right, straps are in. Now on to the cloth. All right, we're 35 minutes in. That's good. Okay. Cedric does the stream in here. No, he does recordings and puts them on YouTube mostly. All right, all right, all right, all right. So yeah, we're gonna stop here at the knee to complete the thigh section. But also I'm going to cut the cloth on that line here. And I'm going to make another one like around here as well. Just to not have too much of like a wrapping and complex cloth part. Also, I think I'm going to right away start putting stuff that has to do with the bottom part of the knee. I'm just gonna like push them down in the list here, make them disappear. I'm making them disappear just to make sure I'm not missing any pieces. See, there we go. All right, so everything that has to do with the tibia and the leg are going to be here. I'll create a new folder, tibia. There we go. Now I'm just going to split both of those parts. I'll just like roughly mask it. Hide that part, show this one. Now I can do a mask by selection. Oops, invert it first. Okay. I'll duplicate. This part is going to go at the bottom in the tibia section. I will remask it like that. And for this one, I'll keep I'll just delete it like that. Start a new morph target. For the part here, I want to keep the morph target, so I'll just kind of like hide all of that as part of my morph target I have currently. I guess I'll just shrink it. Oops. There we go. So what's like red right now is all of the cloth part that I'll be working on. All right, that's going to be the final part here. So I'll temporarily hide this blocking part here. I'll subdivide this just to have a bit more resolution, and I'll actually go and just like mask where I really want to keep the cloth or not. So like it's very edge basically. All right, so one section or one side done. I think there's supposed to be like a metal section here. I think I'm gonna just scratch it off and replace it with just like an actual cloth part. We're almost there. Here we're gonna use backface mask on the mask because otherwise we're gonna grab by accident the inside. I could have chosen also mask by depth. Almost there. There we go. Well, I'm learning, but I hope I can work like yours, or if possible, better. I mean, I'm happy with the work I do, but I want to be better. Well, yeah, it's natural to want to upgrade, evolve, all that stuff for sure. Is that Marco? Yes, this is Marco. So there's a tool to mask the entire like inside part of a mesh. I just don't know how complex that the mesh I just did is, but we can try. Um, what is it again? Mask region, I think. Auto mask region. Nah, it kind of like got everywhere. It's a bit of a crazy mesh now. So instead what I'll do is, first of all, I'll assign a poly group to all of that. I'll just take these, auto mask these parts, and then I know that I can have this edge, and it's everything that I need. It's this part here. On one of the sides, we're gonna mirror and weld this. There we go. So all of that is the cloth part that we need. And also, of course, separating at the line here and this line right there. I can make the line probably a little bit more interesting than a straight cut like that. But at the same time, do I really need to do this? Something like that, I guess. Give me a sec. Okay, what do you remesh and UV? What do you remesh and UV with? Um, well, the remeshing is with Z remesh here. If you're asking what I do for my retopo, I just decimate because I just do it for a render, and I UV with Rism. Oh yeah, you meant retopo, okay. When you're doing the blocking parts, do you start with the Dynamesh and change for subdivision to do the detail? Yeah, it's pretty much that. Okay, so now we're gonna try to get a clean remeshed mesh, just so that it's a little bit easier to handle. Is there anything that I must change first? Anything that no, I think I can go with this. Of course, like everything that's like the folds and everything, I'll need to rework it so it's a little bit cleaner. But I've kept my blocking under here. So we're all good. Just as like a base. So like usual, let's mask the borders, polish them just to get rid of like the jagginess that sometimes there's a remesher doesn't like. I'm actually going to tell it, I'm going to force it to give me two different polygroup. Oh, it didn't. It didn't again. Okay, what the fuck's happening? Okay, I'm not sure why it doesn't want to. Is it because I was masked? Oh, it's just because I was masked. Okay, never mind. So I want this part and this part here to be different polygroups. Okay, I'm gonna mirror and weld so it's on the other side as well. So two polygroups for these two sections. Within that section, do I want to cut somewhere? No, that's like a unwrappable part. So that's good. I don't think I'm gonna really need to unwrap this part. I'm not gonna place like patterns on this part necessarily. Well, that's a good way to know if you need to add a seam. Even your high res, sometimes you need to think about like how it would unfold. And so I'm gonna do Z remesh. I'm gonna tell him to keep group so that it actually is take in consideration the different polygroups. Let's give him 5,000. There we go. And how much do you push the blocking? Maybe when you're good with shapes and volume plus polypaint. Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah. Thanks so much for showing the process. My pleasure. When did you start on this model? It would take me a month to do anything similar. I started a long time ago because I just work on it 2 hours per week for the stream. But if I was to work like 8 hours per day to do all of that, it's yeah, it's like a 2, 3 weeks, I'd say. And I'd say that most of those the 2, 3 weeks are especially like the design parts also. If I work from concept, it's much easier because you kind of like don't have to ask yourself too many questions. Okay, so everywhere where it rounds to get to the edge, I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm gonna try to kind of like lift those parts up. I could smooth it down, but I'm going to start losing a bit of like the volume that I have. So maybe I can do like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But the idea is, yeah, I don't want it to like round down, at least not right now, because I want to add the thickness first and then work on like the profile of the shape. And I don't need to super clean it because I'll also apply a polish later, like an automatic polish. But if I don't have the direction on the mesh, it's not going to work to do a really good job. Oof, there's some weird stuff happening in the mesh here. Why is it collapsing like that? Oh, okay. Or like flipped squares, I think. Hey, thanks for the sub. Much appreciated. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and there's those like hidden triangles here, so I'm gonna have to delete those here. Delete single poly. There we go. There we go. And now if I smooth, there we go. Perfect. So yeah, it was a glitch in the mesh, let's call it. Oh no, I'm gonna keep it inside, like if the cloth is like under that knee pad. Because it goes over in this area here. Or wait, no, change my mind. I'm gonna have like a section like overlaying on top. A bit like what's happening right there anyway. All right, that's cool. Thanks for the follow. That's much appreciated. Have a good day. Thank you, bro. You're helping both with inspiration as well as technical. Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Here the mesh is a bit muddied and scattered. Here I'm kind of like a bit not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change part and tackle that closer to the end. Push things in here so it's equal to the other mesh, because this is kind of like a connecting seam between the two, or I might make it go like under. Any tips on learning anatomy? Um, not necessarily, just uh, observation sculpting, like usual. But I do recommend it even if you want to learn to do hard surface and stuff, because it's the like the body is a mechanic by itself, and you can learn a lot from it. So yeah, you have to have a basic knowledge of anatomy for sure. I'll need the thickness to really calculate the distance between those two things correctly. But right now I'm really just working on the silhouette, just to not be too much like scatterbrain. I'm doing one thing at a time. good in this area. Now there was, yeah, there was like this part here. This part here is a little bit weird because part of it is going inside the mesh, and another part is kind of like hovering on top. Okay, I think almost there. All right. Okay, so the silhouette of the or like the contour of the cloth now is well placed. Um, the surface is not polished yet. We can see some intention. We can read a little bit into it. Some of it is not super clean yet. At this point, I think I'm going to add the thickness just so that we can see. And we're going to do like another pass of like polish using that now. The thickness would just have been in the way if we would have do it before. So also I'm going to wait, no, I'm just going to not click on ignore groups, and it's going to separate it into two groups. Let's give it that a good thickness. Should have kept it to 1. There we go. And so you see they are already separated into two groups. So that's good. Am I going to want to keep some hard edges on this? Let's do a dynamic subdivision to see. No, there's no angle that I need to keep. Oh, there's a schnut right there. You know what? Let's just undo the thickness. Let's delete that. There we go. Thickness, dynamic subdivision. Check if everywhere is decent. Yeah, it's decent. It's cleanable. So now what I'm going to do is I'll even just delete one of the two sides, and I'll just make sure that the contour looks clean. I could do it with a like polish by crease. I kind of feel like it's going to go better if I just do it by hand though. This might affect the thickness, but I'm just going to rebuild the thickness once I know it's good. Hey Marco, I wanted to do an Evangelion project, but I'm struggling on finding poses. Do you have a special tip for this, or do you just try things while blocking it and see how it looks? Yeah, the blocking is the stage where I define my final pose already, and I spend quite a lot of time make sure the pose is fine. It's not an easy thing to get like a really striking pose and balanced pose and everything. So you kind of like need to spend some time on it and stuff, find good references, um, maybe tips, try to prioritize the one key angle. The pose is not going to be like super appealing in all angles, but your character should look balanced, like on his feet, well balanced, or well, maybe he's not going to be on his feet now, but the character should feel well balanced in every angle. Uh, but it's not like it needs to be interesting necessarily in all angles. You can't, it's hard sometimes. Some angles are just not at all attractive, but I think that the attractiveness of all angle is not primordial, but feeling like the character is balanced in every angle, that's a sign that you've did like a good pose. It's a good it's a good marker, let's say. So you see now I'm really defining the thickness and how it like hides everything and connects to everything. I know that the shape is aesthetic. That's what we've been working on the first pass. Now I'm really just making sure everything connects correctly. Like when I'm gonna polish the butt cheek here, I'm going to have to find like a way to fill the gap that's right there. And the reason why I'm working without one of the sides right now is just I don't, like I said, the direction smoothing, directional is doesn't work in symmetry. And right now I'm moving around the character so much that I don't want to just by accident just smooth for one part of the leg, smooth it, and for the other part of the leg, smooth it on the other side, and then like not having one side that is all done correctly. So it's just to avoid making a mistake, basically. Once I'm done with the thickness of the mesh, I'm going to work on the surface, its surface. We're getting there. All right, are we done? Okay, I think we are. Okay, I'm gonna still work the surface with smooth directional, so I won't commit my mesh like right now. Also, like for the folds, I'll need to commit the subdivision because right now I'm in dynamic subdivision. We'll get there. So right now there's still some like shapes inside of the surface I want to keep. Like I do want to have like a pinching here to kind of like reflect on like possibly what's under, right? Also what I can do is just not to destroy my border, I can just like mask it. I can take like the inside of the mesh, inside outside, mask this. There we go. This way I can't fuck up the borders. And we're going the thickness is going to be seen in the final model. Well, I mean, I'm working on it right now. You can notice the thickness already. Actually, you know what? I should probably redo the thickness because maybe in some area I kind of like collapsed it. Or let's see, did I collapse the thickness by accident? No, I think seems fine. I don't think I need to redo the thickness. This looks great. Thank you. I have to go today. It's nice to see you and thank you. I'll be back. Cheers. Well, thank you. I'll see you later. All right, let's just take a little sip. So yeah, I'm kind of like suggesting what's under the model. I'll reduce the strength of the smooth as well. Ooh, thanks for the gift. That's pretty cool. It's really faded also the amount of the volume that I'm putting there right now. It's normal that it looks like soft because it's this material is like kind of like it's a pretty thick material, Kevlar-esque. It's not a thin material, so it doesn't show so much what's under. Like I said, the folds, I'm going to work on them later. Oh, here I didn't do the thickness correctly. I'll need to fix this. Starting to look good. Okay, so there was two things that I saw. This side here. This goes under until it's here. And there was also, yeah, there's too much space here still. All right, that's pretty good. Not sure what the material was. Let's zoom in on this part once again. Oops. Okay. Mirror and weld. And there we go. We have all our foundation parts for the thigh right there. I'm gonna place the little border around the cloth now. I consider that to be part of the. Well, there's some more testing that I feel like it could be a little bit premature to place it, but I think I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. First, let's save. At one 3D artist. Hey man, I love your sculpts in the Just a Kid Show series. Oh, thanks. I don't get this one brought up often. The detail is amazing and I love it. I've been doing 3D for a couple of years and I'm learning how to get that level. Would you happen to have any advice or tip on how to create high detailed sculpts without them looking muddy or too busy? I love what you do. Um, hmm. I I don't think I have like a lot of like tips that comes to mind. I would say probably like if you check the streams for the frog, I do talk about that a little bit. But yeah, like I'm thinking probably the next character I'm gonna do is gonna be more on the organic side. So maybe I'll go back to these. All right. Okay, yeah, so the border. Border should be very simple. It's going to be the same as this. Well, once again, just zoom in to get the material. Oh, it's the same as the cloth. And what I'll do is I'll duplicate this object here. Since I want the mesh to be really in the middle, I'm going to go and add a insert edge loop like that. Now I want one side to be of a different edge of a different group, so I'm just gonna mask one part so that there's two different polygroups for each side. I'm about to sneeze. Sorry about that. So same for here. So there's two different polygroups for both sections, which means that now we can take our tube brush. It just creates like a tube like that. I want to get the proper size. 9, I guess. Looks like 9. And I'm going to just click shift right there. So it places the tube. It might be a little bit more too much inside of the mesh, so I'm going to just tell him to be a little bit more at the top using the depth options. Yeah, it looks better. I'm gonna delete the curve and add the next one here. Oh, they're not going all around. Okay, I know why. It's because... Oh, wait, they merged? Oh, yeah, okay, so when I apply the insert, it did weld like some vertices. So we're gonna split each of these into a different subtool. Insert. Okay, we're gonna do it in 2 subtools. Go back to the tube brush. There we go. It's not really good on the edges that are very tight. This is something we're gonna have to change. Also, what I can do is once you place it, you can click on the thing. It's gonna give you more resolution on your tube here. Because right now the first thing that it did is it took the resolution of the edge. Sorry, the topology of the mesh itself. If you click on it, it's kind of, I think it's the idea that it follows the topology of the IMM if it was not trying to follow the topology of the mesh that's under. It's a lot of resolution for nothing right now, but the resolution is more like the squares are more even, let's say. They're a little bit like split. So we're gonna take this version actually. Now I can delete the curve, delete what's hidden. We're gonna do the same thing for the section here. Now I'm not sure why Okay, there was a uneven. Okay, now it's going all around. Okay, it's not going. There's still some parts of the mesh that are not looping completely around. Jeez. Jeez Louise. I wonder if if I use the Z modeler option for that, if it's going to be better. Poly group, poly loop. Okay, now it does the entire poly loop. Yeah, I should have done that from the start instead. All right, seems to be going all around. That's good. Delete what's hidden. Delete the curve. Now I can merge those two together. Apply mRGB to them. And now we have the border here. And what I'll do is I will temporarily merge them together, these two. And I'm going to do a final pass at like seeing if there's like interpenetration and that sort of stuff. And this is really going to be like the final pass for trying to make the interconnectivity, let's call it, of all the meshes together. There's still some stuff that I'm going to be doing later, though. go everywhere around already? Feels like we might have. We're missing here. All right. Yeah, there we go. So all fundamental parts for the thighs are there. So everything is smoothed as well. This can be smoothed more. All right, so we're just gonna need to do the mid details and details, and we are finally done with that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, what was the question here? I'm a creature artist looking to create models with that detail, same like Marco Lazov's, Alexeo, Pablo M. Gomez. I love that realistic style. I try to find as much info on it as I can, so I really appreciate answering my question. Sounds good. Yeah, that's cool. I think I'm gonna call it there for this week. It's a little bit like a little 10 minutes shorter normally um, than normal, I mean. And so yeah, because like I've pretty much like finished with all the fundamental like pieces. So uh, next stream we will be able to tackle the polishing of all of that. Not sure where I'm gonna start. Maybe some of the hard surface pieces. Um, yeah, we'll figure out. I'll rack my brain around that during the next stream. So yeah, I think we can do like a little raid. Why not? Why not? So thanks everybody for coming again this week. Next week, as usual, I should be available. So yeah, thanks for coming. Take care, everyone.